All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What's today's topic? I'm going to talk about two products from Harbor Freight and an alternative. And what we're going to talk about is hydraulic jacks and jack stands, because I think that they kind of go hand in hand. And for the video, it's worth talking about both. Now, a long time back, I was looking around for a bottle jack. And I took a look at the ones at Harbor Freight and I took a look at the ones online. Now, I didn't end up buying the Pittsburgh ones, but I belong to two forums and a club. People say the bottle jacks from Harbor Freight work great. Now, a long time back when I was looking, I wanted both. And at the time, these Pittsburgh jacks were on recall. There was a defect in them and safety thing. So, I thought, well, okay, I won't get the jack stands from there. But then I came across a good deal from a place called Big Red. I have it up here on the screen. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the Pittsburgh, hydraulic jacks are fine. From everybody I talked to out of the club, they work really well. Now, on both of these, you want to, if it's not working correctly, because I saw in some of the comments, and we were talking about this out at the club, and one of them said, yeah, but the problem is most people don't understand how to bleed these jacks. And I said, well, that's true. And I had to refresh my memory on it also. So, it's not a criticism to anybody at all. But rather than, call the jack junk or, hey, it sticks, it does this, it doesn't go up and down well and all this stuff. If you bleed them, you'll probably find it'll work perfectly fine. So the question is, how do you bleed them? Now, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide at the end of the video on how to bleed these hydraulic jacks. I won't do it right now because it'll interfere with, what we're going to talk about. But what I wanted both because the reasoning is these jacks are not meant for you to, like jack something up and leave it there long term. They start to bleed a little and they'll start to settle on you. So what you want is you want a way like jack stands to use to support them after you get it up to the level that you want. Now, some people don't go out and buy the jack stands. They use wood blocks. Or they use concrete blocks. But I want to caution you on the concrete block for a minute. You have to use them the correct way. On a concrete block, there's part of it, and I'll show you a picture, that's called the masonry handle. That's the part you want facing up. Then put a board or something on top of it, or boards, then you can lower that hydraulic jack. These are all for safety reasons. Don't take shortcuts when your life's at stake when you're using these. You don't just use it alone, and you don't use it with things that are unstable. So you want to make sure that you've got good stable platforms, or you have jack stands that you use. Safety precaution, don't be a penny pincher when it comes to like your life or some kind of horrific bodily injury. Now, the other thing I read, there wasn't an in-depth explanation. When you go to store these, always store them in the upright position. Never store them laying down. It does something to the seals on them. And it's not like it's impossible, depending on the jack, to replace the seals. But with the one that you saw in the picture that I have from Big Red, I've had this one for I don't even know how long, and I don't have a problem with it leaking or any seal problems or anything else, but I always store it in the upright position, and I go along with that, and I just take care of the tools that I have. And somebody asked, because like I said, I belong to a couple of forums, and I belong to the club where we do show and tell and all this stuff like I tell you in my videos, and I brought in my old Big Red one, and I've got it up here, and we'll take a look at the prices for a minute. If you looked at the 20-ton Pittsburgh, it's $40, $39.99. And the 20-ton Big Red is $41 right now. Off Amazon, and I'll leave you the links below. I bought mine because it came as like a set at that time. It said, here are the jack stands, here's the jack, and here's the price, and you get free shipping. And then I compared it at that time to the Pittsburgh one, but then knowing I wasn't going to get the Pittsburgh jacks because of the recall and everything, I looked around locally for other jack stands, and I thought this was cheaper, faster, and better. So I went ahead and I bought the Big Red. There's nothing wrong with these from Pittsburgh. Now they've corrected the issues that they have on the jack stands, but not all jack stands are made equal. Now, one of the things that I would tell you to make sure that you do, they had a recall on these because of their failure. And like I told you, that's the reason why I went with Big Red and so forth. But when you get a jack stand, I don't care where you're getting it from, take a look at the welds on them. I had somebody out at the club, I had them send me a picture that they had of, I'm not going to mention the brand, I don't want to get raked over by some vendor or YouTube or somebody, but they showed me a picture of the welds on some jack stands that they had come across, and I thought it was unbelievable. I don't care if it was done by a person or a machine. I tend to think it was done by a person that was just learning to weld, actually. Let me show you the picture. Okay, so like with everything that I tell you in the videos, pick them up, play around with them. The jack stands, I mean, you can pull them up, you can grab the lever, let them down, and then you want to take a look at the teeth on these jack stands when you have them. Let me show you a couple of pictures. Okay, so you can see how important it is to inspect things, especially something like jacks and jack stands before you buy them. You're putting your life in the hands of these things, or like I said, some kind of extreme bodily injury that you definitely don't want. When it comes to jacks and jack stands, don't be, like I said, don't penny pinch, okay? You want to be the safest that you can be. So take a good look at the welds, take a look at the teeth when you're pulling it up on the jack stands. Does the lever turn smoothly, come down easily? Does it lock like it should? And when you take a look at these bottle jacks, there's nothing wrong. When we discussed this out at the club, I don't believe there's anything wrong with these 20-ton Pittsburghs. Now, since I made these comments on the Pittsburgh jacks stands, Harbor Freight has corrected that recall and that danger part of things, and they have replaced them with a much better product, and so they're much safer. But at the time I bought them, it wasn't like that, so that's the reason why I went another route, like I said. So inspect these things very carefully. This is a huge safety issue, especially when you're the one that's laying under the car, the trailer, or whatever. I've used these, you see it on my videos where I do the trailer modifications and flips and I rewire them and all this stuff. I always use jack stands, whether I'm using a floor jack or a bottle jack or whatever. The bottle jack, like I said, is really not meant for any long-term use. Safety precautions, all right? I want everybody out there safe. I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. Keep following me. My cats appreciate your clicks because I've got stray animals that people abandon. I take care of them. Got a little sheltered area for them, food, water. They live here. They're, like I told you in my videos, they're my shop buddies. But what little bit I make, I use it to take care of them. And I appreciate all your support. Hope you click subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. You folks have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.